You're very welcome back. Thank you very much for staying there. This is KAFTAN Television. I'm Mikky Attah. And right now we're going into our special segment for this morning. 11 years ago, on the 14th of April 2014, let's call it 14th into the 15th because it was in the dead of night, some girls were in their dormitory in the girls' secondary school in Chibok when there was a loud bang at their door. The rest is history. 276 girls were picked up in a 3-hour-long raid, thrown into lorries and driven into the forest, into the bush. They finally ended up in the Sambisa forest. This is a story and special report on Chibok Girls 11 years after. Well, you all saw the newspaper headlines I brought to you. Not one mentioned the Chibok Girls. But here on KAFTAN Television, we go the extra mile for you. It seems like some Nigerians have run out of steam. Some have forgotten them, but we will make sure they are not forgotten. So this special report is focusing on 11 years since Chibok. Virtually, I'm going to be joined in the studio right away by one of the members of the Bring Back Our Girls movement. Habiba Balogun, good morning.
Good morning, Princess.
Good morning, Habiba. Habiba joins us from Yola in Borno State. She went on a visit to the Chibok girls themselves. Who are in that delegation with you, Habiba?
Well, I have here
Grace Dauda.
Grace Dauda! Grace, good morning. We promised you we were going to bring one of the Chibok girls themselves, and Grace Dauda is here live. Hello, Grace.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Are you in a mood to talk about your story, to tell us your story? Nigerians would like to hear from you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Grace Dauda. I am among 82 Chibok schoolgirls that were released 2017. So we are survivors. We stayed in Sambisa some of my schoolmates that we released together stayed in Sambisa Forest for 3 years.
Jesus.
And we are 3 years of pain, of suffering, just hovering around, hunger. We went through so many stuff. But we are grateful that I am out today, but I am still praying and hoping for my sisters, because there is so many promises that were made that my sister will be back, but I haven't seen that promises. I feel like people have forgotten my sisters, and I feel like
recording in progress.
So many things. Okay, let me look.
No, we haven't forgotten them, Grace. Thank you very much for that. All right, can I speak with you, Habiba? Habiba Balogun, are you still with us?
Yes.
Right, Habiba, good morning. Tell us about your interface with the Chibok girls that are in AUM.
Well, it's still a work in progress, so we'll be able to report more tomorrow. We had a meeting with them yesterday.
Okay.
And we heard from them what they want for their lives, their challenges, their desires, and they're having meetings today, to amongst themselves, right?
Okay.
To discuss everything they heard yesterday and make their decisions. And of course, Grace is one of them as well. So
all right,
that is what's going on. We're here to engage them. They're women now. They're not girls anymore. So it's up to them to make the decisions for their own lives.
Right. Who else was with you on that delegation?
We also have here Mohammed Maina.
I'm Mohammed Maina. I'm from Chibok.
God bless. Thank you very much. Happy to meet a Chibok indigene.
Yes.
What's the mood of people who live in Chibok?
Well, I work for Murtala Mohammed Foundation, so I'm coming from Maiduguri, but I'm originally from Chibok.
Right.
Of course, the Chibok people are still having that comprehensive fear of this insecurity because the attack is still ongoing. Boko Harams are still attacking communities. They're targeting soft, mostly the target is soft target those communities that are removed.
All right. Still targeting soft community. In fact, one of our reports just this morning on the front page of the newspapers is how Boko Haram has hit some people in Borno. Just must have been yesterday for it to be a report today. What's your impression of the security architecture in Borno as a whole and Chibok in particular?
The security situation is really bad. Now, for example, the only accessible route from Chibok to Maiduguri that has been under attack every day. Like on Saturday, an IED has detonated and take off one bus. About 7 people were dead at the spot, and many were injured. So, so many communities have abandoned their community because of the insecurity in Chibok alone, and so many communities like that.
My goodness. Well, we hope the authorities are watching because we are live streaming. So we're hoping that this gets to as many of the top people, the authorities in Nigeria as possible.
It's sad that the federal government failed to acknowledge that the insecurity is actually very poor, like very, very bad.
My goodness.
But the Borno State
11
government
years
is actually
later.
trying. Yes.
Right. Do you have a sense of the government's commitment to finding the remaining 82?
I think the actions is passive. I don't see any actionable steps from the government in terms of finding the remaining girls. I feel more or less the girls are forgotten. If you talk about government, but organizations, the BBOG, the communities are still, standing that, of course, our daughter will never be forgotten.
Amen.
I'm from Chibok, and I will never forget my sisters.
Oh,
that is the last thing I would do.
Accept our sympathy, sir. Well, we're really hopeful they'll be found. Okay, it's been nice speaking with you, sir. Can you let us go back to Grace?
Yes, sure.
Hello again, Grace, the girl that's now a woman. You're welcome back. Grace, we remember your story vividly because you were that girl that hurt her leg and still managed, with the injured leg and everything. How's your leg now? From the photographs, I saw you like you were catwalking.
Yes, ma. I can walk now, but I still have iron in the leg because of the leg wasn't healing properly then, and they asked to put the leg for some time. But I don't know, I feel pain sometimes because I underwent through 4 major surgeries in Nigeria, 3 in Nigeria and 1 in America. I can walk now, I can wear high heel, but sometimes I feel pain, especially during rainy season.
Oh, sad to hear that. But the good part is that you're safe and you're back and you're alive. We're happy to have you on set today. Grace, you went over to America and started your school over there. How far have you gone?
Okay, I started, let me start it from the beginning.
Go ahead.
So when I went to the America, I was still receiving my treatment. So I now said, oh, my schoolmates are studying, I can't stay idle. I now do some tests. When I took tests, they said, I'm from a 3 level. So I was like, oh, wow. So I have all it takes, laptop, computers, extra work. I work extra hard. Within some months, I write a GED and I passed and got admission into Bronx Community College. I started studying then. My school, my visa was about to expire. And I said, I don't want to stay in someone's country illegal. And I came back to Nigeria for student visa interview. So I did a visa interview 2022 January, and I got denied.
Oh.
And I did second interview in 2023 September. I got denied second time. So my school, I almost finished. It's just 6 courses that remain for me to finish, but due to the visa issue, it's still on hold. I would have graduated since 2023.
What are you studying?
I'm studying biology.
Have you made maybe entreaties to the school authorities themselves? Maybe they could give some special, letter or something to the embassy, especially based on you're a special girl.
I don't know, I tried my possible best to see why I was denied and why I started school already and I didn't stay illegal in this country. I was wondering why I was denied, and I've tried to see if I can take the rest of the classes online, but it's because of chemistry. I need to do practical. So
Yes, so you have to
that's
physically be there. Right,
yes.
you know what? We're going to think of how we're going to find some way out of that. You can't have come this
Thank
far
you so
from the
much.
forest, from Sambisa.
Exactly. So sometimes I feel like I feel depressed
No,
and
don't.
I feel sad for more
Please
time
don't.
because I feel like how will I go this far and get stuck? Because one, I was kidnapped because of education.
I know.
Two, I was that low and I worked extra hard to get to university. And why am I going back again? Like, is it that I am not supposed to study or something? It's just so sad to me.
Grace, don't be sad. You are supposed to study. You're supposed to finish your studies, and you're going to, okay? Just take it as a pledge. We're going to
Thank you,
take
ma.
your case up, okay? So thank you.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you for giving us this moment in time to speak with us. So,
Thank you so
amongst
much.
the other 82 that got rescued in your operation, are you in contact with the others? How are they doing?
Yes, ma. Okay. Among us that came 82, some of us are still some of us are still in Neola. Some of us drop out in school. They are married and they are home. Some are not in school, but they are home. And it's sad to say that like one of us died.
Oh, oh, that is sad. Not just sad, it's painful. She got released and then died. What happened?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I honestly don't really know, but she gave birth a week after or 2 weeks after, according to what I heard, because I'm not really sure of what happened.
Yeah.
That's when she died.
Oh, that is sad to hear. Okay, Grace, is there anything you want to chip in to Nigerians? Is there anything you want to tell Nigerians? Go ahead.
Okay, to Nigerians, I don't want you guys to forget about my sister. I remember 2014, there was everywhere they will bring back our girls, some on news, on science, leaders spoke, so many people promise, leaders promise actions, but it seems like that action is no more. Like, I don't see the action. There is no passion again. I am not seeing anybody fighting for my sisters again. I want that action back. I want the passion back. I want them to bring back my sisters. I know it's not easy, but I believe when governments use all their resources and with the help from other countries, they will bring them back and see how it goes. Because if we say that, some people will say, oh, they don't want to come back. We clearly all know that they did not go to Sambisa but themselves. Well, let them bring the girls back and see if they will go back.
Right.
And again, I want Nigerian government to help us about our education. My sisters need to complete their educations, and those that are not in school need to at least go to vocational training and have something doing for themselves to help themselves, and at least they have something that they are rely on. Sorry.
Right, something to fall back on. Grace
Yes.
Dauda, that Chibok girl that hit her leg, carried the bad leg, found her way back. Thank you very much for sharing with us. Thank you for sparing the time, overlooking the hurt, to tell us a little bit about what happened. Listen, you are going back to school. We're going to see to it, okay? Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, let's go back to Habiba Balogun. Habiba, are you still with us?
Yes.
Great. Habiba, you heard all, the latter part of what Grace was saying. And, it resonated with me because, like, on this program, we started by doing a review of the front covers of today's newspapers. Not one mentioned the Chibok girls. It was like, it's
Yeah.
like almost as if Nigeria gave them 10 years maximum. Because last year it was like 10 years of Chibok and all that. Today, nobody mentioned it. So, do you have that sentiment as well? Do you get that feeling that is Nigeria forgetting them? Is the government interested?
I don't think Nigeria is forgetting them. I think what is happening is that, unfortunately, what the whole Bring Back Our Girls movement warned Nigeria about, that deal with this issue when it's far away. Don't wait until it comes to your own doorstep, has happened. So many Nigerians have been traumatized over the intervening period. Many Nigerians are also grappling with poverty. Many Nigerians are grappling with education. Many Nigerians are grappling with insecurity, with kidnapping, with attacks on their communities. So I think there's more self-absorption right now, that the Nigerian general public have so much they're dealing with: the cost of living crisis, struggling to have 3 meals a day. Many families are not having 3 meals a day anymore. That I have my own problems. I mean, I'm choosing to interpret it that way, that there are so many other issues that now affect them directly, that they are dealing with, and many headlines that they decided, well, I don't know, maybe they can speak for themselves why they think this tragic event that happened in our country, and it's still not over. You still have some of those girls who are taken from a government school in captivity. They're not free. You still have girls who are rescued by the government, and they are very grateful to the government, who haven't finished their education, who are still not able to stand on their own feet. So we need to learn from what has happened in the past 11 years. You need to show empathy to people who are going through stuff when they are going through stuff. Don't wait until it's pinching you too before you realize that, look, if it's happening to one person somewhere, it can happen to me tomorrow. So solving the Chibok girls is a problem then. Insecurity, good governance, responsive government, poverty, education would have solved problems for many of us Nigerians. We wouldn't be where we are now if that issue had been addressed when it first occurred at that time.
Okay. You said you're having a meeting this morning with the authorities of the American University of Nigeria, where many of the Chibok girls were sent to school. What's the agenda?
Oh, it's just an engagement. Okay. That is all. Bring Back Our Girls movement is evolving. So number one, we are basically a pressure group to pressure government to meet its obligations to its citizens, right? Especially security. So that's one. And then the other hand was, we were speaking for the voiceless. The Chibok girls, when they were taken, they were teenagers. They didn't have their own voices. We were speaking for them. Now they are women.
Yes.
You just heard Grace. She can speak for herself. So Bring Back Our Girls movement is evolving and passing the advocacy over to Chibok girls. We will just provide whatever support they request from us. So part of coming here is to engage with the girls themselves and ask them, what else do you need? How can we support you? And pass the baton over to them, and we will step into the background. They will be speaking for themselves. So the meeting with the authorities, of course, they've been here in AUN. It's more like a courtesy meeting, and every year on April 14th, the school also has a somber event to commemorate, the abduction and to remember the girls who are still in Sambisa Forest who haven't come back. So we're going
Yes.
to attend that event that the university will be holding. So
Okay.
that's basically the agenda.
Okay. For the ones that you met, what's their mood? Do you feel they've been fully integrated? Do you find them sad? What was your reading of their mood?
They're very hopeful.
Oh, good.
They're receiving an education. They've chosen their majors. They are making progress in their lives. There's still a lot of uncertainty. What happens after school? How will I be able to, you know, how will I be able to sustain myself? How about my family, my community? Their community is still under attack, so a lot of concerns, but a lot of hope as well.
Beautiful. That is so good to know. What's your assessment of the government's involvement, the government's will, let's call it political will, to bring the remaining ones back?
We're hoping to engage with both the Borno State government and the federal government in the coming weeks to find out, to get the answer to that question.
Okay.
Of course, it's a wider, the security issues. Borno State government just declared the state of emergency more or less by themselves when it
Yes.
comes to insecurity. So we'll be engaging with them to find out what the situation is.
All right. Beautiful. All right. Let's have the numbers up on the screen. And with those numbers, you'll be able to call in and engage directly with Habiba and let us know your own views. Let's have your own take. Remember, this program is especially for you, Nigerians. Let's hear what you have to say about Chibok girls 11 years after. And not all of them till now are back. Right, that's the number. Let's hear from you and let's know what you have to say about the Chibok girls. Well, that's that little delegation. They went over to Yola, Adamawa State, to the American University of Nigeria, where the Chibok girls, those who are in school, are actually in university. We have our first caller this morning, and it's Collins calling from Benue State. Collins, good morning.
Good morning.
Right.
Good morning.
Good morning, Collins. Go ahead.
You see, like, if you look at the issue of this Chibok case, I don't know why we, more especially Nigerians, don't value our citizens.
Value our what? Please speak up, Collins.
We don't value our citizens, more especially our leaders. We don't value the masses. Let's just be frank to ourselves now. Now, first and foremost, let me go back to the manifestos of, more especially these are leaders, senators, president, and all these House of Assembly. Like, before they came in, some give reasons why they are coming in and what they are going to achieve for the nation. But when they get into that seat, it is done. Nothing is done about their sin. That is why most of the times I say I don't believe in their manifesto. Let's take it now. This Chibok case, I believe it's around 12 years now, 11 years or so that people are talking about.
11 years today.
11 years today.
Yes, sir.
Okay, look to it now. A student and left their home as, let me take it now. It was during Jonathan, that Jonathan, no. Yes,
Right.
it was during Jonathan.
Right.
Now, if it were one of them is a daughter to Jonathan then, or one of the senators, let's just be frank to ourselves. Will they allow it to happen till date? No. Now, when it comes to Buhari, it happens that one of those girls are his daughters. Will they allow this to stay? No. Now it comes to our present president. Yes, it is done before him. I happen to happy and if I'm opportune to see him one-on-one one day. One of his manifesto, which I will never forget in life, is that you see, when he came in, that is going to make sure that they recruit 50,000 soldiers. Now, if you look at it now, the recruitment of soldiers, not especially, which me personally, I will not even join. It's not announced again. If you go to the recruitment ground, after the lead to exercise, you see that they say this person is from senator, this person is from commissioner, this person is from minister. If you don't have anybody, you'll be left alone. Go back home. Will all this help us? The problem we are facing now is because of the way the suffering of the masses has come beyond our understanding. Me, I'll never be a party to say, let me be an offender that the state or the government will be looking for me. No. But there are people that when they are pushed to the water, they don't have any choice, don't have any means to succeed again. They go into it. All these things can just be done and the nation will celebrate it just like it is as of in those days when things are working well. If you go to all the parastatals, the ministry, so many things, corruption has become the end of the day.
Collins, wrap up your thoughts.
Hello?
Wrap up your thoughts so other people will have a chance to call in. Collins? Right. That was Collins calling in from Benue. And he's saying that if it were the daughter of one of our politicians, definitely the Chibok Girls saga wouldn't have lasted 11 years. But because, like he's saying, the government has no regards for the citizens. That's why it has happened it has lingered this long. Very sad report there. Right, keep those calls coming in. That's the number right there on the screen. Let's hear let's have your take. Today marks 11 years. It was on the 14th of April in 2014, like Collins rightly said, under the Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration, when those girls were abducted, kidnapped, spirited away in the dead of night from their dormitory, from their hostel in school, where they were just preparing to have their examinations, taken into the bush, forced to join Islam, and forcefully married off, forcefully made pregnant, all sorts of trauma, which we might not want to go into today. But up till today, 11 years later, many of the girls are still not back. So let's hear what you have to say on this special day. Okay, like you know, there have been some rescue operations as well. Some of the girls have actually made their own way back. Very brave indeed. Some just watch out, and when their captors are maybe sleeping or something, they just carry their little children on their backs and run into the bush. After several days, they come to where human beings are, and then, you know, from there on, they get rescued. That's a marvelous one indeed. Hello. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, ma'am.
Hello.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are
Fine, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
from Gary?
From Gwari? Your name?
Ukali.
Ukali. What's your name? Taraba State. Oh, you're welcome, madam. What's your name?
And
Your name, ma'am? What's your name, ma'am? Oh dear, network. Oh, she was calling all the way from Ukari in Taraba State. Do well to call back, madam. We'd really like to hear a female point of view this morning. Right, keep those calls coming in. We're on the very last segment of the program this morning. So very nice to get your opinion on the state of affairs with the Chibok girls. Like I let you know, several of them are undergoing undergraduate studies at the American University of Nigeria. Some of them are on sponsorship. I think a lot of them are on sponsorship from the federal government. Some of them, like we learned from the Bring Back Our Girls movement, are actually at home, not in school, just sitting at home. So we've got to put that hope back in them that, look, education is not bad. And you can't just sit at home. Oh, I'm back with my parents and that's the end of it. No. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, my goodness. That call from Taraba. Please do well to keep trying. Right, you can see there 11 years since Chibok. You can see some of the girls there when they were in captivity. Beyond the photograph you're seeing, like we all know, where they're terrorists, the Boko Haram terrorist captors pointing guns right behind them. They formed a circle around them. If you had seen the wider picture, you'd have, you remember those photographs? And they were pointing guns at them. Some of them took pictures with them and they were like, well, the hell with it. You can see me. What are you going to do about it? Very sad. Good morning. Okay, that photograph shows a father and a mother with their rescued daughter. You can see the joy of having their daughter back. That was one of those rescue operations, probably the last one. You can see a lot of the parents and a lot of the girls meeting their parents for the first time after several years in captivity in the forest. Oh, there we have some parents again with some of the girls. They're so happy. They're kneeling down, crying, thanking God. You can see a father there in white in the left-hand corner. He is overwhelmed with joy to see his daughter again. So these are Chibok parents. Those are some of the rescued Chibok girls back with their mothers and fathers, crying tears of joy as well as a tinge of sadness because they know, like Grace said, some of their sisters are still in the bush, in the forest, but happy at least to be back and free. Keep your calls coming in. Keep those calls coming in. Right. Like I told you this morning, 11 years, at the beginning, you know, it was as if the government, the federal government, was in denial. It's as if, no, nothing had happened. By the time they galvanized action, they had been so far in the forest, it was like it's going to be a rescue operation gone wrong. It was very badly handled from the outset. We're having a little issue with network. I can see calls trying to come in. Please keep trying. You know, there's a little bit of network issue, but, you know, keep trying. I'm sure after a while we'll be able to connect because we have had some calls this morning. Well, you know, after like 1.5 months of inertia before something was finally done, and what was that? Having meetings in Abuja. This wasn't the time to have these meetings. This was the time to get the hell on gone and get gone over to Sambisa, or at least find a trail of where the girls were so that as many as possible could be brought back. It was very clumsily handled, not just by the Nigerian government, other governments as well, who should have been able, who were publicizing it, who should have been, you know, involved from the outset. Well, of course, it concerns the Nigerian government first, but I mean, the initial inertia was enough to make the terrorists feel they had the upper hand, which at the beginning they did. It was the most traumatic, ugly experience for anybody, a child in school, a teenager. I mean, it was like a scene from a horror movie. In fact, such a horror movie couldn't have even been conceived by human beings. It's hard to believe man's inhumanity to man, the cruelty, and then government's inability to live up to its responsibility. We have a caller on the line. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh my goodness. These calls are really not being very tidy this morning. A lot of network issues, but you want to keep trying. I'm sure after a while the network will even out. Okay, we're still having a special focus this morning. Chibok Girls, 11 years after, 10 years plus 1. Should I try the phone again? Hello, good morning. You are on and you are live. Please introduce yourself and go ahead. Morning, sir.
Okay. I've not been convinced that...
Please, who's speaking and where are you calling from? Who is speaking? Where are you calling from, sir?
Okay, I'm calling from Bari area council in FTT here.
Right.
My name is Johnson.
Johnson.
Yes, good morning, ma.
Morning.
I have not been convinced that these Chibok girls of the thing, that what they have been saying that it's not Chibok girls, that is true. Because I have a view that how will it be possible that about 400 or 200 girls at the same time will be passed from somewhere? Is it that they enter car? That was what I have been saying. But this morning that you bring this girl and she was saying that she was having fracture or something like that, and there is iron in her leg. So I have a reservation that maybe it is true. So if it's true, our government they need to do more, so that anyhow it is these girls they can bring them, even though they cannot bring those ones that are not yet back, even though they cannot bring them back again. Those ones that they have been bring back, they should try to make sure that they have better life, more than how people will think that things will get bad for them. And I believe that God will surely do something that it will be better for the ones that are feeling bad. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. Okay. That was Mr. Johnson calling in from Wari area of the Federal Capital Territory. And he said he had his reservations. Amazing. With all that happened and all the publicity, he said he wasn't convinced. We're very glad this morning to have brought you live a victim so that you can see for yourself, hear from yourself, assess for yourself. And he said he's now convinced. Hello, good morning. You have another caller on the line?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Your line is very noisy. Please turn down the volume on your television set.
Hello, good morning, madam.
Right, morning. Go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Odion Victor. I'm calling from Lagos.
Odion Victor, did you have to remember your name?
So, what I'm trying to say concerning these Chibok girls. These Chibok girls we are saying, where are they? Are they in another country or in Nigeria here? Hello?
Right. Are you asking me?
Yes, I just want to ask. I want to ask so that before I will know what to say. Because when we say Chibok girl, they kidnap a whole 400 children.
267.
200 and something to a place. What is that place? Is it a country or in Nigeria here?
Right in Nigeria.
I don't know where they keep these children. Is it in another country or in Nigeria here?
Right, it's our country. Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's our country, so we cannot go there to look for this in our own country. In that place, they see those so difficult for we to go to look for this girl, because I don't know what is really going on in Nigeria. Because the children, not be one, don't be two, don't be three. A vehicle came to the school and collected 200 and something children. Up till now, 90 of them are still missing. That place. So does it mean that we can't go there to look for these children? That is my own concern over it.
Thank you very much. I feel your pains and your concerns, sir. Thank you very much for your contribution.
It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Calling all the way from Lagos. I'm wondering, isn't it in Nigeria they were captured? They weren't taken out of the country. Why haven't we gone there? Well, we have, but why haven't we brought the others back? Right. Good morning. We have another caller. Calls are actually jamming right now. Okay, do well to call back. Sorry, your call was actually jamming. Yes, well, as it is, we have less than 100, but like the biblical projection of Jesus Christ as a good shepherd, he said he would leave 99 behind if there was just one unrescued sheep. So we want all of them back. That's the sentiment. Hello, good morning, caller.
Good morning, madam.
Morning. Your name, where you're calling from?
Okay, I'm Mr. Kolawole. I'm calling from Niger State.
Kolawole from Niger State. Please speak up a bit and make your contribution.
Okay, Mr. Kolo, I'm calling from Niger State. In fact, it's pathetic. This issue is a pathetic issue. It is an issue that it disappoints the whole Nigeria. What is it that at the present situation in our country, I believe we have the intelligence armies, we have the intelligence security that can take charge of these menaces that are happening in our country. And these guys, they have spent more than, I think this is now 11 years.
11 years today.
I look at it. If I think is one of the, is maybe about the what I'm trying to say is that maybe our representatives, the House of Reps or the Senate, that it happens that it's one of their children that are in that activities. I know by now they're supposed to have, they may have looked for solution or way out, way out for the children to come out of the menace. So we advise the government, at least they are detecting mechanisms that they can use to detect the very point where those girls are being kept. At least within a short period of time, it should be released and so that they can reunite with their parents at home. So in fact, it bothers me. It bothers the whole Nigeria. It's not supposed to be like that. At the time in which we are now, we know we are facing a lot of insecurity things in Nigeria, but at least we have some intelligent individuals in Nigeria. We have other countries that have developed, that have the capability of detecting the very point where they are being kept within the Sambisa forest. So I will advise the federal government, at least as a matter of urgency, they should help these girls. They should help them so that at least they will reunite with their parents. So it's a sad issue. It seriously bothers people. Honestly, so God will help us.
Thank you very, very much
thank you,
indeed. I really appreciate that take, especially for you to let people know that, as a matter of fact, it bothers people. And we are wondering, isn't it bothering the government enough? Is the government not moving? We have another caller. Oh, lost that call. Do well to call back. We're winding down on the program, but we have a little more time to take a couple more calls before we come to the end of the program. Well, as it is now, we have less than 100 girls in captivity. I think the final figure is about 82. Let me not get myself wrong there, but we have less than 100, but that's less than 100 too many. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Nicky. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning. My name is Matthew Crawford from United States. You see, when we talk about 11 years in captivity, somebody was talking about as if it's maybe 10 days. 11 years, even if you stay away from you, maybe on leave, stay 30 days or 5 days out from the office. You know how it is. Not to talk about somebody staying in captivity for 11 years. Now you start asking yourself, what do we do under this condition? So to me, I would suggest to the federal government, now security network these days is no longer analog, everything is now digital. If there is a way the federal government can look for international community to back up with our Nigerian soldiers to get these children back. Because why I'm saying this thing, you see, when American guys were, the kidnapped in that very place, that Sabita. It didn't take Americans 48 hours to rescue that people. It was Trump administration where that thing happened. Within 48 hours, they were rescued progressive. Now, I tell you, can't we, as Nigerians, use the same method as those people used to get to the root of where those people are? Because, like I said, have they built houses inside that place for somebody to stay? How did they get it? How did they get food? These are the channels that goes to that business. Because as long as those channels are free for them to go there, they will still continue with that. I think we saw what happened for 8 hours, yes, but 36 hours ago in Dambo, where people on the road, how Boko Haram people passed to that 8 people that go on the road. So that's why I give kudos to Zulum, the governor of Borno State. What is being done presently is very good. I pray that people working with him will follow him the way he arranged his life so that this will move where it's supposed. Therefore, Zulum, I'm telling you that there's Zulum. That issue of insecurity will stop within 48 hours. But you plan your own, people working under you, they will do their own abracadabra style. Everybody looking for his own pocket. But the thing is that in time will tell you, all those people they are creating more problems for themselves and for their own future in their own family, not for only Nigerians. God bless all of us. Please, government should do the needful. Everything is now digital, no longer analog. Good morning, Mazuka from Brown.
Thank you, Mazi Okora, for calling from Arochukwu in Imo State. Mazi raised an issue. Yeah, and that's really valid and germane because we all remember that incident where an American citizen resident in Nigeria, in fact, resident also in the Northeast, got kidnapped. And like he said, in 48 hours, the United States government from America mobilized and had him brought back, making us wonder, right, what is the value then of a Nigerian citizen? What is the value then of a Nigerian schoolgirl, of 267 Chibok schoolgirls? 48 hours later, like a magic film show, there he was rescued and brought back from captivity from the same Sambisa forest, making you wonder, which means it's possible. So why isn't it getting done? Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Afolabi Martins. I'm calling from Ekiti State.
Ekiti State, Afolabi, good morning.
Yes. The issue of Chibok girls, my own side of the story is quite different from other people.
Go ahead.
I see it as being political. Because during the government of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, our former President Buhari and Tinubu led a protest of free Chibok girls. Throughout Buhari's regime, nothing was done about them. Tinubu is spending another 3 years now, and nothing has been done about them. I see it as being political. If this happens in America, America will leave their country and fly down to another country to rescue their citizens. What is happening in Nigeria? We can't rescue ourselves in our own land. Killing everywhere. Is it political? Our political elites should stop this. They should stop using us. They should make this country a living country for us. Our political allies have done everything about Nigeria to politics. How can that huge amount number of girls be kept inside bush for almost 11 years? It's not possible. I don't believe it. It's not possible. What is our intelligence officer? What are they doing? This is almost 11 years now. Come on, we should ask ourselves. We should ask ourselves. Our political elites should call themselves. Should go back to the round table and talk about this. They've done everything about this country to politics. It's not good. It's not good. We are not happy with that. God will rescue Nigeria.
Thank you very much. You also raised very important questions. How possible is it for 267 people to have been abducted in one operation? No, it wasn't just in one vehicle. They were lined up lorries, open-backed lorries. So they were just pushed in like cargo. And you're wondering, where was the school authorities when this was going on? Because by the time a fleet of lorries would drive over to a female hostel in the evening, and you wouldn't raise an alarm up until they ferry the frightened girls. So they'll be running in opposite directions. They're pushed, shoved with guns at their backs, jump into the lorry, and the lorries didn't leave until they had taken every single one of them. They left in a convoy. It took 3.5 hours. It was a 3.5-hour operation. Till today, the principal of that school is a free bird. The school authorities are not even called to question. She's retired and living very well, like I learned in Borno State. So that question really is important. And then many callers have said the same thing a lot of Nigerians are saying. There's so much intelligence. Everything is now non-kinetic. Isn't there like some surveillance? We have drones and everything. Isn't it possible to pinpoint where they are and rescue them? Up till today, 11 years later. Let me give you the math. Those girls were of average age 16, 17. Let me take the highest age, 17, right? So 11 years later, we're talking about people going 28 to 30 years old. 11 years of a little child, a young teenager's life. Let's say she was about 15, 16 or 17. And then you take out that chunk, those 11 years of her life, and then want her to come back and start life afresh. And we're sitting back counting 1 year later, 2 years later, 3 years. Throughout that time, there have been presidents, there's been government in place. Well, that was a little bit inaccurate about the Muhammadu Buhari administration. There were 2 rescue operations. After that was dead cold silence from them. And again, there were complaints during the Muhammadu Buhari administration that school fees, which the federal government said they would underwrite at the American university, that wasn't done. The girls who went out, who were rescued and taken to the United States of America, also they had issues with Nigeria remitting their school fees. So Nigeria has really been a little remiss concerning the welfare of the rescued ones, and that is really what we really need to think about. At 11 years, it will not be too surprising that some of them have passed away. Yeah. But we just want closure. Let's have closure. Let's know this attempt has been made to find the final numbers missing and bring them back. Another thing I'd really have to put out there, if you're a Chibok parent, your daughter is still not found, please do not lose hope. It happened in some of the previous rescue operations many years ago that some of the girls came out and had the ugly news, received the horrible news that, oh, their fathers had died, oh, their mothers had died of hypertension, of overthinking. So you've got to be alive for those girls. That's their hope. They're like, oh, one day I'm going to come out of this place and see my mother and see my father, see my family again, see my people. So please, you've got to keep your hope up. I know there's so much insecurity. I know there seems to be all that lethargy, but Chibok, if you're a Chibok parent watching this, please keep your hope up. Nigerians, let's not forget them. Like I said, I did a newspaper review this morning. Not one single newspaper mentioned it, but we are here. And we have brought it to you as a special report this morning to refresh our memories, to keep them alive, keep them in our memory, keep them in our living memory, put them on the front burner at least this period. Let's ginger the authorities to please take that push and go after the remaining Chibok girls. All right, it's on that note. We've come to the end of our special edition this morning of the press. I'm Mikky Attah, and it's been wonderful. I really, really must thank you, Grace Dowda, for the courage to come out on camera and speak to us. I must thank our technical crew and everybody that made sure this came up live. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. I'll be back on Wednesday, but stay with KAFTAN Television for the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.